group. It's Bridget, Stuart, and I'm so excited to be a part of your big business planning day, your team advance, as you all work together to just plan for the best 2022 ever. I wanted to be there with you in spirit by kicking off the day with this incredible fun activity that is going to get all of you in the right frame of mind to have an incredible day. All right, so you should have a pen and paper right now. We're going in a time machine back to 2017. So we're going back to 5 years ago, and we are going to think about what your life was like in 2017. You can actually start writing even as I'm talking. So I want you to describe your life in 2017. Where did you live? Who did you hang out with? What were your hobbies? What video games were you playing? Who were your pets? Who was your most significant relationship? What was your job? How much did you weigh? Where'd you go on vacation? What were you driving? I really want you to write a full description of your life in 2017. I'm going to give you some prompts to what was happening in 2017. Despacito was all over everywhere. You could not escape that song, no matter what kind of music you like to listen to. Ed Sheeran, everywhere. It was like the year of Ed Sheeran. Beyonce, the picture where she's pregnant with twins on Instagram was their most liked photo in the history of Instagram. Trump was inaugurated in January. That can trigger, if you remember where you were there, and you can add some descriptions of your life from 2017. Couple other prompts. Get Out came out in, I think it was March, and that really revitalized horror movies. If you haven't seen it, it's phenomenal. And it's very suspenseful, more suspense than horror. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend it. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was the hit of the summer and the best received and reviewed DC movie that has ever come out, and ever since as well. It still wasn't the biggest movie of the year. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, that was the top movie for that whole year. It's funny. Did any of you go see it first day? I saw both Wonder Woman and Star Wars on the first day. In terms of TV, Big Little Lies was a surprise monster hit. Great British Bake Off. That's when that show, it had already been around, but that's when it really took off in the States. It's like everybody discovered that show and binge watched it and became fascinated with Noel Fielding and just all the British bakers. A couple things that happened that weren't so great that year. That's the year where we all suffered the trauma of the Vegas concert shooting. That was really horrific. Harvey Weinstein fell from grace, shall we say, and the Me Too movement kicked off. Hurricanes, I don't need to tell you guys this. You all know firsthand, but hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria pounded Texas. I mean, it was just devastating and brutal. Back to a couple of other fun things in 2017, just to trigger that memory. Top selling vehicle was Chevy Silverado. They sold over 585,000 Chevy Silverados that year, followed by a bunch of other trucks and SUVs. So it was definitely a truck and SUV peak moment. Men all had man buns, or the shaved sides of the head with long hair on top that they put in that little tucked in ponytail thing on the top of their head. A lot of the slouchy beanies, men and women were all wearing the slouchy beanies, even in the summer. I was like, come on now, what are you doing there? Big round glasses, women were wearing chokers, and red was a major color that year. I'm carrying on that tradition now. 2017 is also when people started trying to make fat lips. So they started trying to make their lips huge, which how did things like that even take off? I don't know. but there were a lot of chokers, a lot of man buns. There was a lot of crop tops. Crop tops came back. I mean, who would have thought? So anyway, just I want you to take the next 5 minutes. We're going to pause the video now. And for 5 minutes, just keep writing. Again, I hope you already started writing while I was talking. Where were you working? What was your income? What was your net worth? How much money did you have in the bank? Anything and everything that you can recall. Were you cooking at home? Did you go out to eat a lot? Was it who was your main social circle? So write that description of your life. Go ahead and hit pause right now and write about it for 5 minutes. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. What you guys are going to do now is you are going to stand up and just share some of the highlights. If you want, you can read the whole thing. I'm sure there are some things that you remembered that maybe you hadn't thought about in a while, but go ahead and stand up and share what you wrote, your description of your life in 2017 with each other. And we're going to pause now while you do that. All right, step 2. I hope that was fun. Step 2, fresh piece of paper. We're going to talk about today. So now, end of 2021, really, we're already in the beginning of 2022 in the real estate world. I want you to do the same thing and describe your life today, all those different areas. Where is your life right now in terms of your health, your relationships, your financial well-being, your net worth, your spirituality? What are you doing right now? What are your hobbies outside of work? Are you cooking more at home due to COVID? Are you relying way too much on Grubhub or DoorDash? Where you guys are you still just going out as you would have pre-COVID? Write a description of your life right now. What are you driving? Where'd you go on vacation? Where do you want to go on vacation next year? What music are you listening to? Who's your best friend? Who do you spend the most time with? Go ahead and take the next 5 minutes and write that full description of your life right now. You can go ahead and pause. All right. Here is my big question for all of you. Is the description of your life today the exact same as it was in 2017? I'm not a betting woman, but I will bet that your life has changed significantly in some ways in the last 5 years. Some of the other changes might be minor, but I am pretty positive that most of you have had growth, change, movement. People have come and gone. Your money situation has probably changed. So you have seen that in 5 years, you actually accomplished a lot, and your life has changed. And this is the thought I want you to keep in mind as we move forward in this exercise. So first, you're going to go ahead and share with each other the biggest differences that you noticed in your life from 2017 until right now. So go ahead and share. You don't need to share everything. You can if you'd like, but you don't have to share everything. I would share with each other just the things that were either funny or surprising or you hadn't really thought about and that have changed significantly. And that should just take a few minutes. All right, I-35 group. We weren't just going to leave it hanging there. That there is one more step to this activity, and this is where it's going to get very fun. So again, get a fresh sheet of paper. And now I want you to imagine that it is 2027. It's 2027. Same thing. I want you to take these next 5 minutes and I want you to describe the vision that you have for your life and what you want it to be like in 2027. How old are you going to be? What do you want your main relationships to be like? What do you want your home to be like? What do you want to be driving? Frankly, maybe the car you'll have then hasn't even been invented yet. But if you had to choose today, what would you be driving? Would you still live in the same house or would you have moved? Where do you want your overall net worth to be? What do you want your career to be like? So take these next 5 minutes and just fully describe your physical well-being, your social, what you'd like your social life to be like, your financial, your career, your spiritual life. Where do you want to be vacationing? What do you want your vacations to be like in 2027? So take these next 5 minutes and put as much detail as you can think of. Dig deep, put down everything that you want to tell yourself. This is between you and yourself, the sharing that you'll do. You don't have to share everything that you write, but take these next 5 minutes and describe that future self 5 years from now. '35 group, I hope that was exciting for you. I want you all to do a couple things and we're going to close up this exercise. After we're done, I want you all to stand up and share with each other that description of your life in 2027. Share as much of it as you feel comfortable. If you put down some private things, that's okay. Keep those private, but share it with everyone. And I want you all to give feedback to each other on how exciting it is, the future that you all have envisioned for yourself. Many of you have been with KW for quite a while. You've been through Bold, you've been to training events, you've seen Gary Keller speak, you've read some of his books. So you're not going to be surprised when I bring up one of Gary's quotes that he talks about a lot. We overestimate what we can do in 1 year. We underestimate what we can do in 5. It's a chronic issue. And I really hope this exercise illustrated for you how much change can occur in 5 years. And that's even with maybe not putting a lot of thought and strategy into it. So I want you to imagine in the next 5 years, adding some intentionality, some purpose, adding a plan into achieving that goal and creating that life by design. Imagine what you can do between now and 2027. I have so enjoyed being a part of your day today. I want you all to connect, dig deep, think big, get creative, and just have an incredible day. And let's see what you guys can create, not just in 2022, but how you can take steps now that will lead you to that vision of your life in 2027. Have a great day. I can't wait to hear all the ideas and strategies that you come up with.